Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Long Island Sounds podcast. My name is Ben Stein, and I am your co-host and general manager for the Bolton Center for the Performing Arts, where we are filming this wonderful podcast. And to my left,
I'm Rob, and welcome to Long Island Sounds, the podcast. This week we are going to be talking about tribute bands and the local artists that grace our stages.
we're going to be talking about the effects that the trend with tribute bands has on local artists, and just in general, and what we're seeing in the industry. I think it's pretty much the same trend, no matter what theater you go to. So that's definitely our main intro topic, is getting into the trends that a lot of theaters are gearing towards tribute bands, and that seems to be the hot thing right now. At least on my part, from what I'm seeing.
How is that affect the, I don't want to use the word bank accounts, but for ticket sales and the pricing for, how does that vary from a tribute artist as opposed to an original artist that comes in?
Usually the tribute artists, we can charge a lower price point for those kind of concerts. Sometimes due to the fact that the bigger names are national touring acts, we have to be at a certain price point as per their contract, just to, like I said, pay the artist and all that kind of thing. Whereas it's much more cost effective and makes everybody usually happy at the end of the day when it's a tribute band, that you don't have the pressure of having to sell out the entire house to make sure everybody's happy.
The other day I covered Anna Popovic, and some of you may have seen the images that I put on Long Island Sounds. But as I was leaving, or actually when I got here, I noticed that she had a merch table up front. When I worked for the casino at Niagara Falls, the artist actually gave back a percentage back to the casino. Does that work the same as here?
Yes, so there's usually a percentage cut. It depends sometimes also if the artist is bringing someone to sell the merchandise, but usually it's usually a percentage cut based on the soft goods, t-shirts and things like that, and then there's a different percentage for vinyls and CDs.
Okay.
It might not be the same for every single theater, but that's the case here at least, and from what I understand, that is the industry standard, what we usually go with.
Mm-hmm. Now, because we're talking about both original and tribute artists, and we're going to be talking a lot about tribute artists this episode, are the rates different or are they the same? If a tribute artist comes in, like when I covered Shoot to Thrill, they had a merch table, and I know Adrenalize has their own merch table. Do they get the same rate as you, or that you charge for the original artist, or that the original artist? Okay. Yeah,
it's the same rate. Sometimes if it's someone that we've had for performing there for a long, long time, and they brought someone to sell the merchandise, if we let them keep their cut of the merchandise, just to kind of, make good on, make sure everybody's happy at the end of the day, I think.
Right.
But usually it's the same for a tribute band or for a national touring act, like when the Jonas Brothers performed 2 years ago. I'm sure there was a merchandise cut on whatever they might have been selling at the time. So yeah.
Well, since you brought up the Jonas Brothers, when they did the meet and greet, do they charge for the meet and greet, or is that part of the whole VIP package? Well, I know VIP packages are a separate price, but right. Do the artists charge?
That will depend on the artist too. So we have one coming up actually with the Yardbirds. The Yardbirds are performing here April 4th at 8 p.m. and they have, for an extra...
And tickets are on sale?
On the website, boltoncenter.org, or call us at the box office. So the Yardbirds are doing a pre-show meet and greet up here in this upstairs lounge, where they'll be spending an hour with the guests who purchase the ticket, and they get some autographs and hang out with the band members for an hour, and yeah. So cool. We're starting to put it back into the equation now, but it was a very popular thing from my understanding when the YMCA did own and operate the theater. Mm-hmm. This was pretty much a VIP room where they would do the meet and greets. There was just two large tables over here. The artists would sit behind them, sign, and so on and so forth. Where we do a little more informal as a meet and greets now. But if an artist wants to do something like that, they're more than welcome to.
Awesome. We have a very special guest that's going to be joining us. She's going to be coming up with, she's going to be here with Who's Next, which is a Who tribute
Yep, Doug's
band.
on. Who's next? Yep.
And tell us who we're going to be interviewing.
We are going to be interviewing the lovely Miss Lisa Pollizzi.
I got a story for Lisa. I mean, Lisa knows this, but I got to share this with you. It's an unpopular opinion, but I always grew up not really a fan of Janis Joplin, and I went to go see. But I am a fan of the Doors. I went to go see. Lisa opened up for Crystal Ship, and huge fan of the Doors. Not so much for Janis Joplin, but I can tell you what.
She won you over?
She did. She did. She absolutely amazing voice. And so, if you're not doing anything, when is it, April 25th?
Yes.
If you're not doing that night, you got to come down and check them out. They're
It's,
both
yeah.
amazing.
They're great bands. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
You would be really remiss to not buy tickets for this event. It's going to be a fun time.
So coming up, we're going to be sitting down with Lisa Pollizzi. So stay tuned. Long Island Sounds, the podcast, is brought to you in part by the Bolton Center for the Performing Arts. For info on upcoming shows and ticket information, visit www.boltoncenter.org or call 631-969-1101.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome on back to the Long Island Sounds podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a very special guest with us today. If Rob, would you like to introduce her?
Ladies and gentlemen, no introduction, Lisa Pollizzi. So Lisa, how long have you been in the business? I mean, you've done, like I mentioned, you do an amazing Janis Joplin. Is that something that just came naturally, or was it something that you emulated throughout the years?
So as far as singing in general or Janis?
Yeah.
Janis specifically. We'll start with that.
So Janis specifically, the story goes is I think I was 17 years old, and I was singing at my nephew's, I think it was his christening or something like that. It was one of my nephews. It was a party, and I was singing just a bunch of stuff, and somebody came over to me and said, "You remind me of Janis Joplin." And they said, "Do you know who that is?" I said, "Well, I've heard of her." I said, "I don't really know who she is."
Okay.
So they're like, "Well, I want you to get her greatest hits album, listen to Bobby McGee first, and then listen to the rest." He goes, "But make sure you listen to that first." I mean, and then as soon as I heard her, it's like, I guess he heard it in me before I even knew of her. Because at the time I was like into, Whitney Houston, and I was like into old Motown stuff.
Okay.
I loved soulful voices. It sounds a little weird, but like when I heard white singers like me, I always thought their voices sounded so thin and no feeling. So I had to take a look at the cover. I mean, it's this white chick on a bike on the Great States album. Like, she's
Very Woodstocky.
I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I finally found somebody that I felt a connection to. And I always thought, like, I never got to hear her live because, before my time.
Right,
But
Me too.
what I felt just hearing through a speaker, I can't even imagine hearing it live. So the closest thing I could feel to it is performing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like an overwhelming energy that comes over me. I mean, even when I sing other stuff, it's different compared to when I sing Janis. There's just something about when I sing Janis, it's just so powerful.
Yep. And she does definitely have a powerful
Yes.
voice. So.
Does it kind of like transform you into another person? Like when you get ready to be Janis, so you like all of a sudden in the mindset that I'm Janis and
Part yes, part no. Like, I'm not delusional.
no, of course not. No.
There are certain people that really think they're a person. It happens. No, I just feel like she's there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
That makes sense,
It's a
no.
weird feeling. People have said they think I'm possessed. They think I'm channeling something, and I could be.
You're just in tune.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's true.
So Lisa, I've heard that you have performed at the Apollo Theater.
Yes.
So I think, and Robert knows a little bit more about that. And I'm sure he'd love to speak on that.
Yeah, ever since I saw you at 89 North, I just started following you, and I saw that you had were invited. Is that how that works? You were invited to the Apollo.
So
How does that work?
what happens is, like, when I was around 17, I actually auditioned in person.
Oh, okay.
I went to the Apollo Theater, 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember I just really early in the morning, my uncle drove me, into Harlem, and then so nothing came of it back then. So fast forward to like I think it was like during the pandemic. I think they weren't doing live auditions, and I wanted to audition again. So I sent them a video. I think that was back in I guess 2020, from what I recall. Because when they contacted me last year, I'm like, wait a minute, I need an audition. So I'm guessing I must have sent the video back
They
then.
went back through the archives.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. So I got to perform twice last year.
Wow.
I did April, and then I think I was back there again in September, October.
Mm-hmm.
Both times I did a Janis song.
Okay. That was my next question.
Yes.
Thanks.
So the first time I did Ball and Chain, and oh my God, I was so
Great song.
nervous. And one of my bestest friends, Bonnie, she's like, do you need a drink? She goes, because I have something in my pocketbook. I was like, no, for this, I gotta be straight. So then I'm literally like shaking. I was like, Bonnie, I need it. I just need something to just calm me down because I was a nervous wreck. And once I was on the stage and I started the song, the crowd started feeling me, they were clapping.
Great.
And as I went on, I started little boos coming in.
Really?
And I was like, you're almost at the finish line because you can't let those boos
No.
go get louder than the applause. So I'm like, I'm almost there, let me just get through this. And I got through it, and at the end of the night, people were like, oh my God, nobody's ever sang a Janis Joplin song here before. I mean, even the Apollo people, they're like, yeah, nobody's ever sang a Janis song before.
Really?
So she's like, come back whenever you want. You don't have to audition ever again. You're family now. So then after that, I was like, yeah, I'll come back. Let me know when the next season starts. And
Mm-hmm. Wow.
so then they gave me another date, and I said, should I do a Janis song again? And she's like, do what you want. But like, yeah. And then they were suggesting like maybe do something more familiar because Ball and Chain, unless you're a real Janis fan, most people don't know that one.
Yep.
Even though it's so iconic for the Monterey Pop Festival, that's like when she got signed. So the second time I did Piece of My Heart, and I had that audience like right. I couldn't even believe it. I had them from the start to finish on that one. And what's the crazy thing is, the first time I sang there, I literally brought a busload of people. One of the bars I sing at on Long Island, Frogs and Yaphank, the owner, she got a bus to haul all these people to come
Nice.
to come see me. And believe it or not, like the second time, they're like, oh, we did it already. Nobody came. A few people came, but the applause was louder. So it's one thing when because people that love you, your friends, your family,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But to win over a bunch of strangers where I had hardly any supporters in the crowd, that was just awesome.
Especially where Janis hasn't been sung before.
Yeah.
That's another feat
That's
in
gotta be
itself.
satisfying. Yep.
Yep.
Got any other future?
Yes, actually, I'm waiting to hear another date. I told Miss Kathy, she's the one that runs it, Kathy Sharpton, that I want to come back this year. So
I wish you all the best. That's great. And,
Very cool.
I know Ben and I, since we met you, when was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we've been waiting to see you back here at the Bolton Center. So we're looking forward to
I've
that.
heard nothing but fantastic things, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Folks, make sure you buy your tickets.
So Lisa, thank you so much for your time to visit us on Long Island Sounds, the podcast.
Thanks for tuning in again, folks. All right.
Long Island Sounds, the podcast, is brought to you in part by the Bolton Center for the Performing Arts. For info on upcoming shows and ticket information, visit www.boltoncenter.org or call 631-969-1101. Well, that was a great interview with Lisa. And Lisa, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about what's coming up with the Bolton Center. What highlight shows that you have coming up?
Aside from Lisa's show coming up on the 25th, it looks so this weekend we have TR3, which is Tim Reynolds, the lead guitarist from the Dave Matthews Band. He'll be here Friday and Saturday night.
Oh, both nights?
Yeah, both nights.
Oh, that should be
So
good.
it's the first time we're really venturing into booking an act twice. Yeah, after that, we're going to have the Yardbirds. J.D. Leonard will be performing his original music here as well. Yep, Who's Next and the Janis Joplin Crybaby Experience. Yeah, I think that's, a lot to look forward to coming up.
Yep, Adele.
Absolute Adele, yep, we have that. Adrenalize, the Ultimate Def Leppard Experience. 33 and a Third Killer Queen. We just had Chicago, our beginnings, the Chicago tribute band. That was a fantastic show.
And the country artist, Cimarron.
Cimarron 615, yep, that was, I found out that it was pronounced 615 because it stands for a zip code.
Area code.
Yeah, area code. So I made friends with the gentleman who explained that to me on that one. He got a nice laugh out of that.
Well, that's good. Good to
Yeah,
know.
exactly. It's always good to have him laughing.
Tell us about Bolton Center. Where can they reach us, and the phone number for any ticket and any upcoming show information.
You can find us at www.boltoncenter.org. Box office phone number is area code 631-969-1101, or you can come on down to the box office to purchase tickets directly. And the contact information for Lisa Pollizzi is it's the Janis Joplin Crybaby Experience, and her email is theechopearl@aol.com. That's TheEchopearl@aol.com. No, we have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of fantastic acts coming this way. There's fantastic acts at other theaters as well. It's not to say that the Bolton Center is the only performing arts venue on Long Island, even though I am biased and I think it is.
I'm biased too. I love this place. Great crew, great management. I have yet to meet the owner, but I hear some good things.
I will get him to sit down for a podcast so we can explain the painting behind us, I promise.
There you go. So take care, and we will see you on the flip side.
All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, and comment, subscribe, follow us, and help us grow this page.
There you go.
Take care.